The music of the Bahamas is associated primarily with junkanoo, a celebration which occurs on Boxing Day and again on New Year's Day. Parades and other celebrations mark the ceremony. Groups like the Baha Men, Ronnie Butler and Kirkland Bodie have gained massive popularity in Japan, the United States and other places. Other popular Bahamian artists include Steelite and Stevie S. Calypso. Calypso is a style of Afro-Caribbean music which originated in Trinidad and Tobago. This form of music has spread through many parts of the Caribbean, including the Bahamas. Soca. Soca is a form of dance music which originated from many calypso music. It originally combined the melodic lilting sound of calypso with insistent percussion and local chutney music. Soca music has evolved in the last 20 years primarily by musicians from various Anglophone Caribbean countries including Trinidad, Guyana, St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Barbados, Grenada, St. Lucia, Antigua and Barbuda, United States Virgin Islands, the Bahamas, Dominica, St. Kitts and Nevis, Jamaica and Belize. Junkanoo. The word junkanoo is said to be derived from a Ghanaian leader, John Canoe, or from the Kyo supreme deity and ancestral spirits. The junkanoo was formerly practiced in North Carolina and remnants still exist in Belize. It is most well known, though, from Nassau and Freeport. Since the 1950s, the influence of American culture has increased, mainly through TV and radio broadcasts from Florida stations, and other Caribbean styles have made inroads. Calypso, reggae and soca, from Jamaica, Cuba, Trinidad, and other islands. Tourism has also had an impact, bringing in Japanese, European and North Americans with their attendant forms of cultural expression. In this milieu, more traditional Bahamas performers such as Joseph Spence have still enjoyed successful careers playing junkanoo. Christian hymns and the anthems of the local sponge fishermen, which include Sloop John B., later made famous by the Beach Boys. Junkanoo's origins are obscure and much debated. Researchers like E. Clement Bethel have studied the issue extensively, and likely conclusions include that African slaves were allowed celebrations only around Christmas time, and chose to celebrate John Canoe, a headman from 18th century Africa. Another theory is that the term derives from scrap metal or other objects used to create the distinctive goombay drum. Similar celebrations once existed across the Caribbean and in North Carolina, but are now virtually extinct except in the Bahamas and Belize. In 1973, the year the Bahamas achieved independence from the United Kingdom, black professionals of the middle and upper classes began to dominate junkanoo celebrations. Costuming and competitions became more complex and commonplace, and soon became a tourist draw. Aside from being a type of drum, goombay is also a percussion music made famous by Alfonso "Blind" Blake Higgs, who played to tourists arriving at Nassau International Airport for several years. Rake and scrape music is a unique type of instrumental music made by bending a saw and scraping with a small object, most typically a screwdriver. It is used to accompany dances derived from European forms like polka and waltz. Rake and scrape's popularity has been declining in recent years, but performers like Lassie Do and the Boys continue to keep the tradition alive. Christian rhyming spirituals and the anthems of sponge fishermen are now mostly dead traditions, decimated by the arrival of pop music, a 1930s sponge blight and other causes. E. Clement Bethel's master's thesis on traditional Bahamian music was adapted for the stage by his daughter, Nicolette Bethel and Philip A. Burrows. Music of the Bahamas was first performed at the Edinburgh Festival Fringe in 1991, and was revived in 2002 for fresh Bahamian audiences. A recording of that show is available for sale from Ringplay Productions. Rake and scrape. Rake and scrape music comes from the musical traditions of the Turks and Caicos Islands, and is characterized by the use of a saw as the primary instrument. It was brought by immigrants from those islands from the 1920s to about the 1940s, who settled on Cat Island, and elsewhere. Rake and scrape is traditionally used to accompany the Bahamian quadrille and the heel-toe polka, all relics of the initial mixture of Africa and Europe. Many of these Turks and Caicos Islanders became some of the most famous musicians in the Bahamas. Many eventually moved back to their homelands, bringing with them junkanoo. Turks and Caicos are now the second home for junkanoo. Organology of instruments. Membranophones. The goombay drum is main rhythmic component in rake and scrape. It is also referred to a goatskin drum, as the skin of a goat was stretched over a wooden barrel. It is decorated by simple or complex geometric designs in bright colors. The drum is always heated over fire to retain its tone. Idiophones. The main component that makes rake and scrape unique is the use of the carpenter's saw. This instrument is scraped with a nail or butter knife, bent against the body of the player and flexed. Various timbral effects are obtained. In more modern music, the saw is replaced with maracas or a gyro. Aerophones. The accordion is the component that adds the round form which enables dancers to dance the ring dance. This is of European descent. In more modern bands, it is replaced by an electric guitar or electronic keyboard.